Weekend, it is time to talk about This Week in Comics. This is a live stream I do almost every weekend where I break down the biggest news in movies and TV, and I come at them from a comic book lens. I read about 50, sometimes up to 70 comics every single week. I also break down my favorite 9 of those for you right here, so if you've ever been curious about comic books, this is the best way to get you in a comic store and to try some stuff out you might like. I just realized how far away my mic was. I'm really excited that there's been so many of you joining this page lately. It has been really incredible to experience this surge with all the X-Men and Spider-Man stuff, so I wanted to keep that train rolling and dive into the actual confirmed casting itself. On this page this week, we've done my fan casting. We've done how I would use the narrative and what I would do to bring the X-Men into the MCU. But we haven't spent a lot of time actually breaking down our 2 giant bits of casting news. So we're going to talk about the actual confirmed casting as well as talk about the ongoing deluge of spider money. So we've got 2 big news stories to dive into, and then of course whatever you guys want to discuss. You guys control all of the co-hosting abilities, so anything you guys want to talk about, throw in those super chats, get those Streamlabs. I do not leave a stream until every single super chat is answered, and I will try to check on the live chat as well in between all the stuff. So thank you for joining this page. It's been really special to see so many of you, joining the koi pond. I appreciate it quite a bit. Let's get to the news, shall we? All right, we got to kick it off with a very, very, very cool bit of news because I honestly did not know how it would feel to have a new wave of X-Men getting confirmed. I thought it would be this exciting, but it's special for me because Spider-Man and X-Men are my 2 ways into comic books, right? Like, I was 2 when I got my first Spider-Man comic, but I was only like 4 or 5 when I got my first X-Men comic, and they're the 2 giant worlds I collect. Around the same time, I got into X-Men, I got into Batman, which got me into DC and all of that world, but I never collected Batman because it seemed too intimidating, thousands and thousands. X-Men at the time was still hundreds, but I'm 61 away from every X-Men ever. And I feel like in my career, I haven't had as much opportunity to talk about X-Men because as I was coming up, it was starting to, kind of drift away. And I went to the Dark Phoenix premiere. I was at the last X-Men movie premiere, but then by the time the pandemic rolled around, I really dug New Mutants, but it didn't really get a release. I saw it at a drive-in because we were all quarantining. So I was wondering with this new wave of X-Men what it would feel like because I was 12 when the X-Men cast was announced in 2000, and it wasn't quite as I wasn't doing this job, but I didn't quite understand the scope of it, right? Like, I was just excited that was an X-Men movie. I didn't know who anyone was except Patrick Stewart looked familiar. So this has been really cool for me because I get to kind of share in the excitement with you guys. So I thought we'd go through the 3 confirmed casting announcements and then talk about D23. So let's actually break down. Let's enjoy this while it's mysterious, while we don't know too much. So we're going to be talking about the 3 confirmed casting announcements, which of course does include spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then we'll talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day itself and a bunch more box office huge, staggering achievements in the last 2 weeks. So kicking it off with Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. This had broken last week. I talked about it a little bit, but I do want to say, as far as this casting choice, I really like that we're kicking it off with something that is not on the beaten path. From what I've heard, this is one of the roles that they had the most people audition for and is one of the most nuanced characters in the film. So this was one of the most actual layered rounds of casting, which is very interesting to me because when I think X-Men, I could probably list 10 X-Men I think of before Emma Frost. Like, Emma Frost is in the giant pantheon of hundreds, very important. There are literally hundreds of X-Men at this point, and Emma Frost is in that top, I'd say, 10%, so she's in the top, 50, but it's really interesting. She was the first one officially announced. So that leads me to believe there is a decent size role for Emma Frost, but also that leads me to believe that there are a decent amount of Hellfire Club story points. I think we will see two different waves of ages minimum. At the end of Spider-Man Brand New Day, like I said, there's going to be spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day. At the end of Spider-Man Brand New Day, they acknowledge the fact that there were other X-Men in a form. They discuss that other mutants have been in the redacted files. They discuss going back through the files. So I think that really opens the door for years worth of X-Men existing. I don't think they're going to be, a lot of them in number, but this does allow for the age to be a little bit more open because we've never had an X gene activate in a universe. Well, when X-Men came out, it was its own thing. It was just X-Men, right? So I want to make sure I'm on the right sound. So it by itself was doing, all the heavy lifting as far as world building. It was the X gene activating wasn't in an already shared universe. So I was wondering how they'd bring them in with, the first X-Men we meet is a teenager. Does that mean the X gene just activated? Does that mean it is all happening right now? Or evolution doesn't take place in a day. Evolution is staggered. Evolution's an experience. So we can still have, depending on how they bring in Wolverine, him be one of, if not the first mutant from hundreds of years ago and tie in, classic lore and bring him up that way. Check out my pitch for the show ideas. We could also have other mutants in the past maybe being mislabeled. We can have certain things maybe even be retroactively changed to the word mutant. Wanda Maximoff, Pietro. It'd be really cool if they weren't miracle children. They got retroactively dubbed mutants. It's interesting because they have to deal with, there was an inhibitor collar-esque thing in Age of Ultron, but it wasn't called that, and it wasn't a universal inhibitor. So Spider-Man inventing the universal inhibitor is what I was talking to with Spider-Man Brand New Day being, him being the Oppenheimer of the X-Men, of the mutants, and how that's going to affect that relationship. But either way, I think this, a woman being cast in her 30s shows it's not just going to be teenagers. I think the Hellfire Club is going to be pissed off that someone's bringing attention to them. I think there's going to be a decent amount of Hellfire Club members. I could see mutants being hidden like Morlocks, and there could be mutants being hidden in high society. I think the Hellfire Club is going to be the high society, people that have, gained power through their mutant powers. Sebastian Shaw, all the characters that are benefiting from the secrecy of mutanthood aren't going to be thrilled that Jean Grey made a public display of this and has painted an X on their back. So I think this is a very important character. I'm curious how big of a role, but I think that's the narrative they're going to go with. I think Samara Weaving is an excellent actor. I think this is a really great opportunity for her where she is in her career. I love when people are like known names and faces, but they're not like household names. I've seen a lot of comments, and you guys have been amazing. I've loved all the comments. I've loved most of the comments on my my X-Men casting videos. It's been so supportive for the most part and lovely. Thank you. I was excited in fan casting. I'm not saying this is who they're casting, but I did mention the Samara Weaving element being someone that's not like a household name, but still a name. And a lot of people want unknowns. And I think you can do a couple unknowns, but I don't think the whole cast should be unknowns personally. I see movies because of my association with actors. I love to see people that I have connection to in roles. So I think there's absolutely an opportunity here to bring in people that don't yet have, everyone know they are, but I don't think you should just cast like 100 people no one knows just for the sake of it. So I think it's a blend, and I think Samara Weaving's in a really good spot in her career to get to the next level of everything, and I think she's an incredible actress. I think she's going to be really wonderful ice cold Emma Frost, but with likability, with the ability to have her eventually come to the X-Men, with the ability to show the nuance of, I assume, the storyline of maybe her students passing. A lot of opportunity here. I think she's a really good casting decision, and I'm excited to see what she brings to a very important character. Next up, our confirmation was Kit Connor as Cyclops. Kit Connor as Cyclops was confirmed, I think 3 days ago, Sunday, 3 days ago. And I haven't had time to go live yet because I've been doing all this other stuff. But I was actually shooting my DC Studio Showcase show. And I want to give them their flowers. Like, everyone that thinks there's this stupid tribalism of like, you're a Marvel, you're a DC. It's the comic store, guys. It's not the Marvel store. It's not the DC store. My team at DC was literally like, go take a couple minutes, film your coverage, and post it. We'll come back. That's support. There is not this blood feud between these companies. Anyway, it broke while I was filming my DC show, and I was just so excited as a comic fan to have Marvel stuff to talk about, but I haven't really gotten to break it down with you guys. So I don't know this dude that well. Kit Connor is not a known entity to me. I looked into him, and he is a beloved He is, people are really passionate about this casting. What I like, and this is just surface, right? I listen to his voice, and I like that he has a commanding voice. I like that he's someone that I could hear leading the X-Men. I know it sounds silly, but there is a tactician element of Cyclops that is so important. And if dude sounded like this, I'm not sure how that would convey on screen. So I really like his commanding voice. I like that he's got a jawline. I could see it rock the blue cowl. I could see him under, the visor and not be eliminated by the visor. Some people's face just don't work with it half covered. He's also very emotive. That's very important with a character that is 90% of the time losing half of their gift as an actor. Like, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. You got to be a hell of an actor to convey stuff with a visor. I think he can handle it. I also love that he seems to be really connected to the fan base. He seems to be, part of the community and culture, and that's important if you're going to be committing to something for 10 years. I also, and this is just for me, a lot of characters in comics are drawn with red hair, and Cyclops is one of them. He's got dark brown hair, but with like hints of red in it. I like that dude's got some red in his hair. Like, it's not like, stark red, but he's got red in his hair. I see more and more, redhead characters in comic books is because it looks cool, right? It's a great illustration. It's a great element of the drawing. In this case, I'm just happy that it is an element that they are keeping. I wouldn't have been like, you've done this wrong if he wasn't, a little tinge of red, but it's a little bonus for me as someone who doesn't see a lot of red represented. So I think it's also a really good opportunity for someone that is already in great shape to get that like Marvel build and have that Jim Lee shape. I think dude is like built like Cyclops. I think he carries himself like a leader. I think he's also... And this, again, this is just like my personal, all of this is, but I think it is a leadership decision to be open about something that some people don't feel like they can be open about, right? Like, he's talked about his sexuality, and that's his right to or not to, right? But a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that. So I think it takes a leader to decide to be vulnerable about that and to share that with people in order to make them maybe feel more comfortable with themselves. That's the fucking X-Men. That's being a leader. So those elements of Cyclops are already in the human being that is Kit Connor. To me, that's a really beautiful asset to how he's going to portray him. So I just think that's worth giving its flowers of, hey, be someone that is willing to take risks, willing to expose yourself, willing to be vulnerable. Being out and open about something is pretty commendable and leadership-esque. So already that element, again, sight unseen as an actor, have not seen his work, but just speaking to what I've been exposed to as someone looking into the actor. Fuck yeah. I am going to watch Heartstoppers. I think that's the one a lot of people have recommended. And I'd already planned to see his Warfare movie because I really like the rest of the cast. And I'm a huge fan of Alex Garland. To be honest, I didn't see it because Civil War was like very impactful in a very profound way, and it kind of rocked me. I own it. I love that movie. But I needed a little break from just like the topical fuck of stuff. So I needed a little gap before Warfare, but I'm definitely planning on checking it out, especially now that he's been cast. So those are my thoughts on Kit Connor and my thoughts on Samara Weaving. Let's quickly talk about the one I've talked about most. This first official image came out this week. It's freaking awesome. Look at this Jean Grey. This to me is so freaking exciting. I made a whole video about it, so I'm not going to get into it too deep here. I made a video about how Jean Grey's portrayal in Spider-Man Brand New Day is the perfect way to bring X-Men into the MCU. You can check that out for a full 12-minute or so breakdown of my thoughts. But as far as just her portrayal, I'm just going to talk about as if we just found out in the trades, right? Just like with the other two, I want to talk about it in that direction. Sadie Sink is a scene stealer in a show that is a giant ensemble cast that has had actors literally grow up before our eyes. Joining a cast is always hard. Joining a cast that is growing up before our eyes that we have connection to because of nostalgia, because of, the seeing ourselves in characters, because of time spent with characters. That's hard. She came in the show and stole a lot of scenes, and that's impressive. So that would already have me excited. The fact that she seems passionate about fandoms and goes to conventions and has conversations with fans and seems very personable is already a plus. She's going to be identified as this character the rest of her life, and she now knows that going into it because she's done a couple years as, Stranger Things is Max. She knows the weight of it. And Jean Grey is even bigger, and Jean Grey is the rest of her life now. You're associated. On top of that, I think she's an incredible actress. I think, that's her as a person, her as an actress. I think she's a force of nature, man. I think you need a leader in her own way to be able to keep up with the perception of Scott and Jean's relationship and what it's going to mean for their relationship to be. I just spilled water on comics. I apologize. Give me just a moment. That is always a bummer. I'm very thirsty, but hey, comics with my face on them. Look at this. How cool is that? I was going to talk about that later, but then I just spilled. I think it's a really special thing to have two people feel like leaders as the actors playing them, and then also portray such important mutant leaders. So I think they're nailing it there. And I think Sadie Sink, just as a person, seems like she can handle the weight of Jean Grey as well as the talent required to play such an OP mutant, man. She's got to be telekinetic. She's got to be telepathic. She's got to be able to have the burden of such an early mutant. She's got to be able to become, theoretically, depending on the storylines they go with, Dark Phoenix. I think there's so much. And I think on top of that, I really like her physicality as Jean Grey. There's such a weird thing about like mental abilities. You've got to be kind of a mime. I think about Ryan Reynolds a lot with his physicality and humor. You can tell when it's him in the suit, and that's so hard to do. Likewise with mental abilities, they add like woo and then like stuff, but you've got to be able to sell with your physicality, and I believe in her with that, and I think that's a really tricky thing to sell. So the universe is telling me to hydrate, Doug. I agree. There it is. But yeah, I really am excited for her casting. This all leads me to, are we getting an entire lineup at D23? I think so. I think D23 is a great opportunity for Disney to differentiate itself for the coming year. I think it's a great time on the business side to show a little flex. I think it's their stage. I loved San Diego Comic-Con focusing on Doomsday because I think that was very smart. I love that we got 2 huge announcements out of that panel. I've talked about that panel a lot. Also, so many of you joining this page because of my San Diego Comic-Con coverage. Thank you. But David Johnson and Ryan Gosling. David Johnson and Ryan Gosling joining the MCU, Ghost Rider getting announced, the way they're navigating Black Panther 3, all of that is so important. I'm glad it got its time in the sun. And then we got a lot of new Doomsday stuff. The physical setup in the room of Avengers, X-Men, and then the main stage, all that stuff was genius. If they'd added X-Men to that, it would have undercut a lot. It would have been the X-Men panel. Nobody would have been talking about David Johnson, who deserves it. No one would have been talking about Ryan Gosling, who deserves it. No one would have mentioned Ghost Rider in more than a footnote if they announced all the X-Men. I think this is the absolute best way to convey D23 as important. I think it is a huge stage, a huge spectacle. It also brings some clout to D23 of like having their own platform. I'm really excited. So I think they're going to. I think that's why they started putting out casting this week as like a kind of a warm-up. I don't know how many they'll announce. They can announce 5, they can announce 7, but it's really cool. It's also good timing. July 31st was Spider-Man. Mid-August, have Sadie Sink come out publicly as Jean Grey. She's only done a couple of interviews. This would be a really good opportunity for her to be out there, to see Kit Connor up there, to see Samara Weaving. So I think that's awesome. And then add a couple more. And keep surprises rolling, though. This movie's not coming out until after, obviously Doomsday. And it'd be cool to have some secrets to get revealed in movie and in the press tour leading up. So I'm hoping they don't do like a giant, 12-person on stage. They did that with Avengers. We know who's in that Avengers movie. Keep some secrets close to the vest. But also, I'm very excited for like a middle ground with some deets. So those are my thoughts. I want to make sure my laptop and comics are not dead. But we're live, guys. This is not live to tape. It is live to live. And it is, one of them got real messed up. 2 of them got real messed up. But that's okay. Just 2. And it's my face. I messed me up. This is a dope Adams cover, though. Man, that's a bummer. It's my own fault. I was excited. I wanted to get live. Didn't have time to bag and board. I'll talk about those in a second. So those are my thoughts on X-Men casting. Those are my thoughts on the ones that have been confirmed. If you guys want to check out my thoughts on who I would cast, that's a video. If you guys want to check out my thoughts on Jean Grey and how they're bringing in Jean specifically, that's a video. If you guys want to talk about my narrative elements of how I would use certain characters and solo properties, certain team-ups, and building to X-Men, that's another video. They're all right here on this page. Let me check out all these comments, and I do need a sippy cup. Let me check out comments from you lovelies. We do not leave a stream until every single super chat is answered. Let's see what we got here today. Great to see you folks. Appreciate all the love. Our first one is from Spidey Sensei. Spidey Sensei 72. This man has a Spider-Man 29.9 tattoo he's building. This man got me an awesome Spidey Cat shirt. He is an OG of the Koi Pond. He says, PS5 and Wolverine Game Fund. It is coming out next month. I'm very excited. About a month away. Thank you, sir. FYI, my ESU replica hoodie from Brand New Day should be here on August 12th. Can't wait to get it. Good taste, good sir. That was one of my favorite Easter eggs, man. Seeing ESU. It was funny making that video. So many of the comments were like, didn't realize it was a fictional school. And that's impressive world building, right? Like that really shows how good the Spider-Man world is at establishing, because there's already so many schools. Who knows what's fiction or nonfiction? But that one made me happy. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Mel NYC Reviews, always good to see you. Hope you're having a great weekend, Koi. I've been working. I'm taking the rest of the day off. I've had a great weekend. I hosted a convention yesterday for charity. I got some work in the morning, and I am today just doing this and a workout. So I'll have like 7 hours off this week, and that's gonna be nice. I need 7 hours. I need some time. So yeah, I'm taking the rest of the day off after this. Thinking I'm going to the museum with my lady. So taking some time, getting some art in my brain. All right, thank you. Matt Krugman, I'm going to do 3 more, and then we'll go to our next news story, which is Spider-Man. And, man, Spider-Man and X-Men Day is always exciting. Matt Krugman, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Saying last Sunday before Lanterns, that's true. It is Lanterns week. Next week, we are literally 7 days away, 1 week out. Every Sunday, you can expect a Lanterns review right here on this page. Very excited about it myself. And the premiere is this week, so I'll have a lot to say as soon as, I think the 13th, I can talk to you guys some more. Last Sunday before Lanterns, going to read Green Lantern Earth 1 this week for the first time. Hell yeah, that's a great choice for the show. I hear magnificent things about Volume 2, and waiting on my absolute edition of Sinestro Corps War in the mail today. Dude, that is freaking awesome. I love that. That is the way it should be. I'm just flailing over here. Now I keep thinking about how I could, get these to dry faster. And I can't. And it's just vexing. It's vexing. That is a great pick and pull. That is a great puck. That is a great pull for the show. I really love Earth 1, Volume 1 and 2. I think the show is not based directly on a comic, but I think Jeff Johns' tonality is a really good comp. I can't wait to talk about the show. I can't yet, but I can't wait to talk about the show. It's coming. It's around the corner. Matt Krugman, as always, thank you, good sir. Moonlight Astros says, hey, Coy, just wanted to show gratitude to you and Greg. Been really going through the ups and downs of life, and you make me try and appreciate as much. Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you. I am someone who tries to see the internet as a place to, shine a light on positivity. I'm not, always positive, and I'm not all puppy dogs and rainbows, but that's usually why you guys see me either very happy or very angry, because sometimes the other side just has to come out. I think it's important, though, to set, a public precedent when you can to be positive because of how much negativity there is. I'm just trying to compensate for the people that are grifting and profiting and making money off just being little bitches. But know that even the most positive optic people are fucking dealing with it too. And we get through it, and you can get through it. And I'm glad we can be a little bit of a light through the mess that is life. And I appreciate the message, man. All right, one more, and then I'm going to dive into Spider-Man, and then we'll be back to some Super Chats. Moonlight coming back. I am probably undiagnosed autistic. You and Real Rejects really does help with empathy. Thank you for making the next day worth waking up and to striving to make a positive impact on the world. That is so freaking sweet, man. Thank you. I think empathy is one of the biggest things about art, right? Like, if you've never lived in a situation, it's hard to understand it. And if art comes out of that situation, you can really get a closer connection to it. And if you've never walked a mile in someone's shoes, sometimes a book or a poem or a movie or a comic or a show can put you in that, and then you can be a little closer to that person. And I think that is what humanity is about, is getting a little bit closer to understanding as many people as possible. And that makes you a better person. That makes you a better member of society. It helps you just adapt to the world. So I think art really does that. And I think with Rejects, that's something we try to convey with reactions and commentary and being involved in the community and being involved with art. That's one of my favorite elements of it. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad we can help the next day be a little better and be a little easier to navigate. It's not an easy world, but there's plenty of joy in it when you look. All right. I am going to dive into our next news story. I appreciate all these super chats. We will not leave until every single one is answered. I promise you that. But in the meantime, we've only got 2 big news stories today. So it was a light news week because we had like 5 crazy news weeks. This one, though, is personal. This is me talking about the glory that is Spider-Man's box office. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, the importance of tentpole films, how they keep the tent up for other films. Also, it's a way for people to know what you want, and quality and quantity are important when it comes to blockbusters. This movie's quality, I think, will help show people that it's not like a superhero bubble that is bursting or has burst or whatever you want to say, but it is we're not just going to be excited by a superhero movie for the sake of it being a superhero movie anymore. I think, all genres have ebbs and flows, but if a movie's quality, it doesn't care what it is or what it's about or who's in it. If a movie is good, the word gets out. If the movie's good and it's about Spider-Man, the word gets out. This movie earned $144 million domestically alone in its second weekend. That is more money than a lot of movies' entire box office worldwide. 144 million is incredible. For perspective, last year's Fantastic Four made $500 million worldwide total. This movie made 144. It made a fourth of the entire box office. 1/4 of Fantastic Four's entire box office just domestically in its second weekend. It's so much money. $144 million. I don't have a lot of comps of movies that made that total, but there are a lot of movies that's their whole run. So that's incredible. It is the 3rd biggest second weekend domestically of all time. Number 3 in the history of movies ever. That is the only higher second weekends are 149 million, which is only 5 million more. 149 million for Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and that was Christmas weekend. This was an August weekend. Christmas weekend, 149, 5 million more, and 147, a mere 3 million more for Avengers Endgame. Absolutely next level. Incredible. It's only down 60%. That number sounds big, but when you go from the highest opening weekend of all time, 60% drop is amazing legs. Literally the biggest weekend of all time. You only drop a little more than half of that for its second weekend. Crazy. It's shot, its domestic cum shot up to 655.1 million. Domestically, this movie has made almost $1 billion. Domestically, it's at 2/3 of $1 billion. It's going to make $1 billion domestic, which is absolutely insane. It is the largest 10-day of all time. Biggest 10-day in the history of movies. That is crazy. It is tracking to earn over $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion, you guys. That is insane. For perspective, it is almost guaranteed to make $2 billion, right? It's shooting at 2.5 at its current rate. It is guaranteed, all but, to make $2 billion. Only 7 films in history have made $2 billion. Remember how huge No Way Home was? It made $1.91 billion. No Way Home didn't clear $2 billion. This movie is almost guaranteed to join 7 films to become the 8th film to make $2 billion. That is incredible. It is just killing it. It had the biggest Tuesday of all time. It has already grossed $1.1 billion. It has passed $1 billion, left that in the dust. It's at over $1.1 billion because that was a Thursday. I think Thursday or Friday that number came in. It is the highest grossing film in 2026 already, and it passed that in 8 days. In 8 days, it did what every other film has done cumulatively, like the best of every other film cumulatively for the year. It passed The Odyssey in 8 days, 7 days maybe. Yeah, crazy numbers, banana sandwich, freaking awesome. While we're talking box office, though, I do want to say The Odyssey did pass $1.1 billion, making it the highest grossing Christopher Nolan film of all time, passing The Dark Knight Rises. So The Odyssey is officially the biggest Chris Nolan film ever, beating Oppenheimer, beating Dark Knight, beating Dark Knight Rises. $1.1 billion for The Odyssey, a 3-hour frickin' epic that is so worthy. It's incredible. I loved covering that film. I love talking about that film. Freaking awesome. Also, just a little footnote, last bit of news, because I want to go back to the Super Chats. David Ellison, the guy, the dude, the Paramount guy, he agreed to sign legally a document stating that if the merger happened between Paramount and Warner Brothers, 30 guaranteed theatrical films a year at the box office. It's tricky. Mergers are always tricky, and monopolies are tricky, and all these things are tricky. I won't speak to that until I have more information. I will speak to the fact that 30 films guaranteed is great for movie theaters. So I don't know what that looks. I'm just speaking to the positive. There's plenty of concerns. There's plenty of hesitation. But 30 films. That the fact that a piece of paper, a legally binding piece of paper, would exist if this does happen. That part is good. That piece of it is good. So I just wanted to give some positive. I don't know how that's going to shake out, but we will see. But yeah, I just wanted to break that down. Biggest Tuesday of all time, third biggest second weekend of all time, biggest 10 days of all time. Almost at, it's past 2/3 of $1 billion just domestically. It is doing insane. It has broken $1 billion overseas. It is at $655 million domestic. It will break $1 billion domestic, and that'll join the $1 billion overseas. This will get to $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion is crazy. It'll be the 8th film to ever make $2 billion. Incredible. Just wanted to share some of that. Just wanted to share. Thought it was freaking cool. So that is it for the news. We did half an hour on the news because it was a little bit slower as far as news this week. But we still have all my favorite comics from Wednesday, this past Wednesday, August 5th. And I want to make sure we get to every single Super Chat. So don't go anywhere, you lovelies. Zooming back around, people love Kit and Heartstopper. Matt Wood is incredible for Wolverine. That was one of my picks. You guys can check out that. I totally agree with you. But I want to make sure as we scroll on through, we're hitting every single Super Chat. We left off with Moonlight Astros. Thank you very much again, Moonlight Astros. Next up, we've got Malik BS98. Malik 98. This is only if they actually go this route. What would an MCU soft reboot after Secret Wars look like to you? Is there anything that you keep, rework, or remove in the MCU going forward? I think there's an opportunity to do a soft reboot. I know Kevin Feige has said they're not going to do a hard reboot, which is, probably smart business-wise. It's a very different thing in comics versus movies. Like, there's a lot of association with actors and box office, and there's a different visibility, no writers and artists and creative teams are more behind the scenes than the face of them with, it's a different thing optically, I think. And I think it would freak out a lot of people to see everything completely change. So I think soft reboot is the way they're going to go. I could see a new Iron Man, a new Captain America. I think Thor 5 will happen, but I do think, they might bring in, I hope not, Sam Wilson, I would love to get some time, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But like a new Iron Man would kind of set a precedent of like, this is a new wave. So I could see that, especially with Doom, obviously. So I think the soft reboot, though, is going to be just focusing on X-Men. I think the Age of Avengers is in a different thing, and the Age of Mutants is upon us or looming. So I think that's the way they're going to go. I had for a while thought they were going to go soft reboot, and I do think they can. But Kevin Feige's comments make me think it's less likely. But I'd start with Iron Man. I think that's a way to show, hey, we're gonna move into a new era. I do like a Jacob Elordi type instead of sarcasm. I'd lean on the old money. There's a lot of layers to what Iron Man is. So you could play up the other levels and other layers and do like a different run, effectively a different writer on Iron Man, a different take on Iron Man. And that would show, things are changing, but you don't have to change everything at once. But we will see. Time will tell. Great question. Thank you. Icy 23. Great name. Popping in to say thank you again for everything you do here and at Real Rejects. Just saw Brand New Day again and felt comfortable talking at the movie with people after because of your videos. That makes me so freaking happy. Thank you very much. I'm honored. That is so freaking cool. I'm someone who loves talking about comics and movies in like the back of the comic store, in like the lobby of the theater, and that's one of the great like joys of Third Spaces. And it means a lot that people feel more open to have these conversations, because that's something that's always been so important to me. So if all the bullshit I get in comments and all the fucking DMs and hate and tweets and, you know, the stressors of this job, if the balance of that is you guys feeling more comfortable, that so outweighs the negative, man. That's so cool. So thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. It looks like that's one of two. When I get to 2 of 2 in my scrolling, I will absolutely connect those dots. But thank you very much, Icy. That means a lot. I appreciate it. We've got Will Knight 685. Will Knight, thank you very much. Will Knight says, thoughts on Matt Wood as Wolverine? He's only been in a couple movies, but my God, does he have the look. I made a whole video, and Matt Wood was my casting for Wolverine. He's so good in SNL. He is so feral as Belushi at times. He is so just like, he's the comic to me. Like, that dude in a flannel is Wolverine. He looks like a Sam Keith drawing. He's yes, I want it. I also think he's passionate. He's talked about it in interviews. He said he'd love to get trained. I think he'd be great. So yes, co-signing Matt Wood. My other pick is Jack O'Connell, if they want a bigger star, but not someone that's like 6'5", Australian handsome. But Matt Wood is absolutely one of my picks for sure. I'm with you. Scotty doesn't know. Welcome to the stream, man. Good to see your name. All right, let's see. Icy 23 part 2. We found it. Also, do you think JG gave MJ and Ned their memories back when she froze Manhattan? And what MCU characters do you see crossing over with X-Men? Great question. I think the muscle memory plus Ned's witchcraft. Ned's got sorcerer blood, as we know from No Way Home. I think he might remember, but the beautiful thing about the ending, spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day, I said at the top, is muscle memory is going to impact something differently than other things. But we saw the kiss not work, and the cliche, you know, true love's kiss. I loved that it didn't work. But when he said Peter, that could be read two ways. That could be he's recognizing Peter Parker, he's remembering his friend, he's remembering who Peter is, or it's Peter, the realization that he's talking to Spider-Man. Either way, that's a great ending, and I love that it's up to the next film. Destin Cretton very publicly said he loved where No Way Home ended, and the reason he wanted to do a fourth film is where John Watts left it. He wanted to pick up from there. I think he left a great ending for either himself or another director to pick up. I hope it's him. I love this movie. It's my number one live-action Spider-Man movie. But he left an ending that allows for storytelling. So I think it's interpretive whether or not he's thinking Peter is Spider-Man or Peter is Peter Parker. And I think that's great. What characters I want to see crossing over with the X-Men? I want to see... Man, everybody. I want to see Captain America and Wolverine. I want to see Spider-Man and everyone. I want to see... Man, I want to see Scarlet Witch and whether or not they address any of that. I want to see Vision try to rationalize what mutants are. I want to see Thor realizing the scope of everyone else's powers, Thor and Storm. I want to see, obviously, you know, down the line, not early, but like a few movies in, maybe Black Panther, especially with, you know, David Johnson being in his 30s. They could really do something cool with Aurora and Black Panther later. Do not make Storm just his wife. Don't do that. But down the line, I would love that as well. So, yes, a lot of things I want to see, and hopefully that answered your question. People are saying the stream is lagging, and I hope it's not anymore. I apologize if it was. So far on my end, it has been strong. People are excited in the chat about me being live, about Jean Grey, about Comics with Koya. Oh, yeah. Yes. Guys, the new DC books this week, DC Comics this week, and there was 3 books last week. This week it's a bunch of books. DC Studio Showcase is season 2, and so hard in the back of these books, and that's me and Frankie. I'm holding Green Lantern's light right there. It's pretty freaking cool. I'm very honored. I did spill a La Croix on a few of them, and I'm very upset about it, and that is a card I have been dealt, because I was a fool, and I rushed into this stream because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't late, and then in doing that, ruined like 10 comics. Pretty crushed. Nothing I can do about it. All right, next up, we got... But yeah, take your time on Phoenix. I'm with you. Don't do it until like movie 5. We have seen it twice. Do it right. It has not quite been done right. Do it right. Yuka Prieta. I hope I'm saying some of that right. Yuka Prieta, thank you very much for your super chat. Comic Book Guru card revoked. Tisk, no liquids near them, kind sir. Hee, love what you do in your fan cast. Thank you for everything. Yeah, I'm like mad at myself. I only have myself to blame. I had bagged and boarded one of them. I'm very glad I had done that. Actually, my friend Victor helped me hold on to this for me until it could be in my hands, and he bagged and boarded it, so credit to him. But, look at this. That right there is an absolute Wonder Woman chrome cover. My favorite Jim Lee art in years. Signed by Jim. Look at that. I can circle it. Look at that beautiful signature. This is safe, because this was bagged and boarded on the top of the pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 comics, however, not safe. Nerd card revoked. At least on probation. I'm ashamed. What a fool I've been. Yes, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed, and it was all caught on camera. All in 4K, as the kids say. Scrolling back to the next super chat, you lovelies. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of news, so this is going to be a very super chat heavy episode. But we've got 450 of you in here, so if you guys could hit a like, I'm going to keep answering every question. I love these questions. I so appreciate it. I have so much love for you guys. Good to see everyone in here. Someone needs to draw Koi as a green arrow so he can display it on his wall. I want to get Jim to do it, actually. I have a few artist friends that I want to ask to do, like, maybe that'll be like a wall of Miyazali. Yeah, rest in peace to my personal comic. Devastated. Also, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm like a mess. Destined Hellfire. Great name. Destined coming in here with point of contention. I get into with folks online is Jubilee. Folks are obsessed with keeping her in the 90s and a little sister. I believe she can be adapted to 2026 and appear of Jean and Co. Am I crazy? I think that Jubilee is a youthful character. I don't think by her nature she's a Jean Grey, personally. I think that, she's been around so long they have to do something different with her. She's been a vampire. She's a mom. I think you can get there, but I think you start her off as young and childish, and her growth is her arc, right? She matures. I'd have her very, very, maybe she's a kid in 2026 that's obsessed with the 90s. I think her yellow coat, her love of the mall, her powers are fireworks. She has got more than that, but she's very, like, childish wonder, and that's not a bad thing. She's full of, like, giddy glee. So I would keep that element, personally. So I hope you don't think I'm saying you're crazy, but that's how I see Jubilee, myself, personally. And I hope you're not offended. Yes. Oh, thank you, Prod Haas. Loved my Guardians of the Galaxy 2 reaction or Real Rejects. I appreciate that. Will Knight 685 coming back in hot. Thank you very much, Will Knight. Thoughts on the reboot tackling a more sci-fi looking world, similar to F4's New York City or the fashion in Superman 2025? I hope it is our world. I think that Fantastic Four needed to differentiate itself in the 60s is where I think a lot of people, including myself, think of Fantastic Four. I actually wrote that pitch, or did a video on that pitch 10 years ago on a 60s Elseworld F4. And then they did something similar, which I thought was great. Superman, likewise. Metropolis needs to feel different. X-Men are in a world that hates and fears them. That is our world. X-Men is a commentary on our reality. I think X-Men need to be our world. I think you can do Krakoa, movie like 10, and that can be awesome and crazy and different. But even that's more of like a Burning Man, tribal, meets technology and organic stuff vibe. I wouldn't want like a futurist world. I think you can do sci-fi with like, Savage Land and with Krakoa, but I wouldn't want the regular world to be too sci-fi, because that you need the connection to our world to have the amount of racists, bigots, sexists, idiots, transphobes, homophobes, just fucking dumb people that think they're X-Men fans. You need those people to be mad that, well, wait a second, these religious zealots, these purifiers, what's up? Why are they kind of like us? These friends of humanity, that sounds a lot like certain groups I belong to. You need that. For, maybe a brain cell activates and it hits the other one and someone goes, wait, am I the baddie? And that's why the world needs to be pretty linear to ours. I think that's an important asset. Also, in that vein, do you guys want a part 2 casting video? My part 1 is my number 2 video of the last month. It actually passed my Spider-Man Brand New Day spoiler review and non-spoiler review. It's doing great. You guys want part 2? I haven't cast Beast, Iceman, Angel, Jubilee. I'd probably cast Mr. Sinister, maybe Morph. Let me know if you guys want that video, because I want to do it if it would keep the X-Men growing, because I want to keep talking X-Men if you guys want more. DFlow99, do you think Marvel is setting up something with Hulk in the future? Maybe Secret Wars or Mutant Saga? I think the way Hulk is going, we might get Immortal Hulk. I think we're going inward, man. I think he's going to be institutionalized. Maybe Doc Samson, maybe a different other psychiatrist. I don't know who, but I think we go into the Green Door and we look inward with Hulk. I think that'd be a fun way to do some very different horror-y and psychological stuff. And that's where Hulk is right now. He's a monster, an Infernal Hulk. He's awesome. Philip Kennedy Johnson's killing it. But I think Hulk needs to have a different take, and I think it needs to be more savage and also introspective. What they were going to do with an Ed Norton Hulk sequel was like a meditation on his psychology, and I think that would have been really cool. I'd like that with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, and the way that Spider-Man Brand New Day ends, I think could be a really cool opportunity for all of that. And yeah. Adarcy248, Adarcy says, hey Coy, love the coverage and growth of your page. Thank you so much. I've been hustling. You're killing it, man. Heard you mention you coming across to Ireland. Any Green Lantern Rex? Let's see. Thank you for the praise of my coverage and the growth. I have grown. Guys, I want to give flowers. I always want to give flowers to my wife, but I want to give emotional and philosophical, metaphorical flowers to my wife. My wife has been doing my thumbnails since Comic-Con, and then did a couple remixes and fixed some of my old thumbnails. So she's been doing my thumbnails for 3 weeks now. And in that time, she has also been helping me basically come up with like the why of videos, like what's doing well and how I would tell it and what my unique strengths are. It's hard to know your own unique strengths. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm very proud of my knowledge, but like knowing your own unique strengths is a thing. And she's been really like highlighting that. So like my wife is like my partner in so many ways, and now she's like a partner on this page, and it is thriving because of her, because of us, because I've been doing stuff too. But like we've grown so much. Like we're up 6K subs in the last month. So what the fuck? That's awesome. So thank you guys. Like this page has grown by like 10% in the last month. So my Comic-Con coverage, my X-Men coverage, my Spider-Man coverage, she's been helping out with thumbs, with titles, and that's been so helpful. So I just want to give her some love because she fucking has been essential. So yeah, thank you for joining this page and loving on it. I'm coming to Ireland in October. Taking my wife there for our honeymoon. We are circumnavigating that fucking island. We're doing the whole thing. I have been working so hard this year. I'm taking a good bit of time off, and I'm finally going to get some rest and recovery and do the entire island. Very excited about it. So be hitting up my buddy Declan, going to be hitting up my buddy Colum, going to be hitting up a few different Irish artists and writers and folks I've met at cons over the years, and just having a good old time. And I'm very excited about it. Green Lantern Rex. I would recommend Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. I would recommend the Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 1, Volume 1 and 2 we talked about earlier. I would recommend Mosaic. It's my favorite, I think, of John Stewart. I would recommend Volume 1 of Kyle Rayner. That's my favorite Lantern of all time. And I would recommend, there was a recent Guy Gardner one-shot by Jerry Duggan that was just a fun. It's not, like, exceptional, but it's really fun. So that gives you a Hal Jordan, a John Stewart, a Kyle Rayner, my favorite, and a Guy Gardner. And those should all be pretty accessible. That's the idea, is easy to find, hopefully, for you lovelies. We're talking about 10 poles. Oh, thank you, Sarah Hatchadorian, for loving my video about 10 poles. That was just a full rant about, capitalism, billionaires, the importance of third spaces, connecting humanity, society, and all wrapped in Spider-Man box office. I loved that video. I appreciate it. Kimball Wolf, guys, I love this. Today's been great. You guys are just coming in hot with the super chats. I really appreciate it. Kimball Wolves 5683. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Pick one filmmaker project with full passion and final cut. Okay, I thought I was just going to pick out of nowhere, but you gave me parameters. Tarantino Blade, Del Toro Hulk, Edgar Wright Spider-Man. Parentheses for Spider-Man, he'd nail the kinetic visual comedy and fun comedy. And fun action is the asterisk. Okay, so visual comedy and fun action. Of those three, Edgar Wright Spider-Man. I think Del Toro Hulk would be really cool because he would add like the monster you love, and he would have elements of like that connection, and I could see that. That's my second pick. I think Edgar Wright's needle drops would be special. I did not love The Running Man, and I usually love Edgar Wright, so I'd love to see him do something with some like flavor, and I think Spider-Man would bring that out of him. So that's my number one. I also think his casting would be interesting for villains. Yeah, Edgar Wright Spider-Man. A close second would be Del Toro Hulk, but I'd rather him do Nightcrawler. But I love that idea. Tarantino Blade, I personally would not want. I think that dude loves... I think he loves concepts of black cinema, but doesn't always channel them in a way that would suit Blade or where we're going with Blade. Yeah, there's certain elements of Tarantino. I love Tarantino, but there's certain elements I don't think would fit Blade, and I think it could actually hinder and harm. So I would not go that direction. But the other two, I am into, and I'd go with Edgar Wright Spidey number one. Oh, Happy Days 420. I'm going to do this one, and then one more, and then I'm going to do comics, and then I'm going to come back, and we're not leaving until every Super Chat's answered. Oh, Happy Days 420. Hey, Coy, sorry I missed the last couple lives. Welcome. I'm glad you're back. I'm making 2 horror shorts for Dead Meat competition. One is out if anyone wants to watch, called Quick Cash. I respect this plug because I know your name, and you didn't just come in like you've never been here before. You came in as someone who's always here, and I will absolutely plug. Watch Quick Cash, which is in competition for the Dead Meat competition from Oh Happy Days 420. Congratulations, that's awesome. Make cool shit. Fuck yeah, good for you, man. 2 horror shorts, that is awesome. And welcome back. Guys, check out Quick Cash. That's freaking cool, man. MD-DY5EG. Thank you. Complicated name, but thank you. How do you think Peter was making money in Brand New Day? I think he was working at the deli. He worked at the deli in No Way Home, or was helping out there, and he has the shirt on. He's pulling him at Murdoch, so he's got a hella cheap apartment that is like, very close to unlivable, so he's probably getting reasonable rent, New York reasonable, so only $5,000 a month. But yeah, I think he's working at there. Maybe he's doing some, freelancing, maybe Postmating, deliveries, Spider-Man. But he's definitely working at the deli. He wore the shirt. And also, I liked that the fabricator and the tech seemed like it was a hodgepodge. We met him taking a DVD player out of the trash. I imagine dude can take stuff out of the MIT trash as well. So I'm sure a lot of that is co-opted tech. And then, Flowers for May and the other stuff adding up a little bit. But it definitely felt like he was on the struggling side with a side of vulturing and scavenging. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. Them's my thinking. All right, I'm going to do a comic run through of my favorite comics of the week. And then we're coming right back to Super Chats, you lovelies. We are not leaving until we answer everyone. It's going to be another hour and a half stream. We're about at an hour already, but we don't leave. It's fun. I'm very excited. You guys are killing it today. I'm really, really stoked. But we are not going anywhere until we answer the question of what were the favorite comics of August 5th, 2026. Now that you guys are closer, I'll show this off with lighting. How cool is that? It's in the back of DC Comics. And this is one I just got wet. It's only just a little bit on the edge. Just a little right here. Just me. I just got myself. They're all spread out over here. But these are variant covers, so I'm really bummed. Like, this is a really cool variant that I got the top wet, and I'm like pretty upset about it. I love this cover. Guys, I appreciate all the kindness of people saying you're handling it well. Inside, I'm screaming. All right, my favorite comics from the week of August 5th, 2026, this last week's Wednesday, were Absolute Superman. This is probably my favorite launching point of Absolute Superman. This book's been pretty hit or miss for me, but this comic is absolutely my jam. This is going to be a really cool issue with a former... so how do I, without spoilers... Peacemakers in this are more like cops. Like, there's a bunch of peacemakers, which makes sense with the name. And this is one of them turning into another iconic villain at the hands of Brainiac. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in this issue. It feels like Superman. It's dynamic. It's different. I dug it. Absolute Superman. I forget which number. It's very small on the screen. 22, Absolute Superman number 22 in alphabetical order. My next up is Amazing Spider-Man number 34. I've said this a few times, but Joe Kelly is one of my favorite writers, and Joe Kelly is picking up off a rough run, in my opinion. The Zeb Wells run was not a highlight for me personally, and it ran for like 5 or 6 years. So I think Joe Kelly's doing a good job kind of course correcting, using some of the characters, using some of the storylines, navigating anew. It's not an all-time run by any means, but I think it's gonna be. Like, I think it's coming together. I think Joe Kelly is a fucking fantastic writer. So this is a B+. It's getting there, but worth some love to have some Spider-Man back on at least my medium graces. Next up, we've got Batman number 12. Matt Fraction's Batman with Jorge Jimenez is exceptional, and I feel like it doesn't get love to the scale it should because of Absolute Batman. Absolute Batman is changing comic books. Absolute Batman is bringing back 90s numbers. Absolute Batman is Ultimate Spider-Man in the year 2000 is Absolute Batman in the year 2025, 2026. That book is a game changer. But when you've got something that is literally a game changer, and then you've got something that is just really, really freaking good, the really good one doesn't get talked about. So I want to talk about Batman number 12. This whole run's been great. I think the daytime Batman is a really unique take. Gotham, the daytime, we don't see a lot. A lighter Batman, we don't see a lot. I like his relationship with Damian. I think this might be kind of a basis for tone for DCU. It's still big. It's still robust. It's still supernatural. It's still a lot, but it's got a levity to it. And I could see that mixing with Crypto and mixing with certain characters. So I really dig this Matt Fraction run. Highly recommend it. And this is a really cool new character. I'm really curious to see how they stick the landing with her. Verity Pennyworth, I'll let you guys read to find out who that is, but very interesting stuff. Next up, we've got a new book at Image called Chachu. If you follow this page, you know I always read an Image number 1. Any Image number 1 I'm going to check out because I think Image is one of the most consistent publishers in the game, and I love to support indie books. They're practically big 3. It's not really big 2 anymore, but these are independent titles and independent writers. And this book is written by Aman Vellani, which I did not realize till I was reading it. I always read the credits, and I was like, wait, Aman Vellani. This is a book written by Miss Marvel. She wrote some of the best mutant Inhuman crossover-y stuff for Miss Marvel. She actually helped me like that choice. Like it more. But this book is a new independent, like noir. It's like a detective gumshoe situation. It's really cool. It's really different, and it's Aman Vellani. I dug it. Don't want to give too much away because it's like a mystery thing, but it's rad. Next up, we've got Civil War Unmasked. I wish more people were talking about this book. It's really impressive. It's like a director's cut for Civil War. I know a lot of people don't like Civil War. I thought it was pretty solid. It was a big event that actually stuck the landing. The nuance of it was sometimes left to be desired. This is a lot of the nuance I was looking for. This book is hitting on little gaps in stories and finding ways to humanize characters. This book is about someone that was kind of a Benedict Arnold in that world and giving that a lot of really good nuance and justice. And, nobody likes a traitor, but knowing where they came from is interesting. So, really cool take on this book and really cool way to re-explore Civil War from all these years ago. Next up, my favorite run of Fantastic Four ever of all time. This is my favorite. My second favorite is Mike Ringo's run with Mark Waid. My third favorite is the Stan Lee classic, but Hickman is right there at 4. This is my favorite run ever. I love this Fantastic Four. Ryan North, who I really dig on all of his stuff, is killing it in this run. This is, I believe, Humberto Ramos' last issue. I'm not sure of that, but I think it's winding down. This is the 65th anniversary. Really fun time. Really integral Johnny Storm mustache use. You'll see. And then we've got Iron Man number 8. This book is very good. Josh Williamson, iconic DC writer, jumping on over, doing both at the big 2. Still writing Superman, but also writing Iron Man very, very well. This is a very MCU feel book, but with very, very different villains, very different worlds. Whiplash is in this one, so that's an MCU villain, but used well here. Really cool, diving into a different take on Iron Man, a different flavor of the way he's trying to compensate for the horrors he's done as a war criminal, but just cool, man. This book is awesome. I recommend this Iron Man. Penultimate, not last. Minor Arcana, number 15. Jeff Lemire writing and illustrating a really cool occult book, some supernatural, some tarot vibes. Just a vibe, man. It's a really cool book. It's a nice atmosphere of book. It feels very spooky season. And then we've got Supergirl Survive. This book is crazy. This is an alternate take, completely different Elseworld. There's an Elseworld logo right there. It's a Supergirl with Kal-El. They both escape on the same ship, and she's protecting him. It's a lone wolf and cub book, but the cub is Kal-El. And in this universe, she gets a blue lantern ring. It's my right hand, no ring on the finger, but it'd be right there. A Blue Lantern ring, and it's awesome how this goes through. The art is great. The Elseworld is solid. I really dig this book. It is something special. So those are my favorite books from the week of August 5th. Absolute Superman 22, Amazing Spider-Man 34, Batman 12, Chachu 1, Civil War Unmasked 4, Fantastic Four 15, Iron Man 8, Minor Arcana 17, and Supergirl Survive number 3. Ya lovelies, let's get back to Super Chats, shall we? All right, we've got a bunch more, so let's go play. Next up, people are talking about 2 billion. People are saying it's at 1.6 billion now. Yeah, 655 domestic, 1 billion overseas everywhere but here. Holy crap at the money, 1.6 billion. It's gonna clear 2 easy. I think it's gonna clear 2.5. Throwing money. I missed the AMC Collider days and seeing Coy guest on there as a competitor in the Schmo. I was a host over there by the end. I started out guesting, but I was hosting the Hero Show. Give me my credit. Those were good times, man. The internet was a happier place-ish. Let's see. Rose BTH 2004. Rosebeth. I think that's what that is. Either way, thank you very much, Rose. Sending vibes because I believe you were one of the few bright spots on the cesspool we call the internet. Have you seen the Doom concept art Feige showed? Thank you. I try. It's exhausting being positive in a world of bullshit, but I think it's important. So thank you. Doom's concept art. I saw everything at Comic-Con. I saw the concept art that was displayed there, as well as I saw the trailer there, but I haven't seen any official concept art. I know there's some floating around with like Doom's sheriff, and I've got some theories about that because I've read Hickman's Secret Wars. I know there's some art popping around with the witches, but I don't know what else that might be. But I've seen everything official because I've been looking at the official stuff as much as I can because I'm excited for Doomsday. I've been reluctant, but still excited. Destined Hellfire coming back in, and thank you again, Rosebeth. Destined Hellfire, thank you for the super chat. Another one coming in at, do you think it's possible for DC to have the pull to get DDC away from Marvel even for one movie? Daniel Cretton, Batman would feed generations. Daniel Cretton's doing Naruto next, and then I'm sure he wants to do another Spider-Man because him and Tom Holland seem to get on great. His whole team was incredible. I mean, that'd be like 6 years, right? I don't know if we want to wait 6 years for Batman. So I think it's possible. I mean, he's a director. He's an artist. He's not beholden to anyone, especially like, his next movie isn't even Marvel. So I'm sure it's possible, but I don't know if we'd, want to wait 6 years for another Batman. So I don't know. I think possible, yes. Likely, no. Hopefully that answers. Let's see. Movie news. I saw Coy first with Campy on AMC Movie News 10 to 15 years ago. Coy's a treasure. Man. 15 years. I've been doing this since Winter Soldier. So 12 or 13 years ago. It's been a run. Because I was doing independent stuff for a while. I was on a little network called Bite Size. I did a little bit at AfterBuzz. I had my show called Marvel Movie News that Matt Key and I did. And then Matt Key left, so I took over. Yeah, crazy. Truth31 the One. Good to see your name, Truth31 the One. Truth31 the One says, hey, Coy, could you see Marvel following the Tony Stark Iron Man route by killing Tom Spider-Man and introducing Miles? You're our comic book hero. Thank you for the love. I think down the line, yes. I think down the line they tease a version of it in Brand New Day. I think that Miles is coming. I think that we need to wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse to end to see how that's going to be, because I do think there's going to be live action interplaying into Beyond the Spider-Verse. I could see Miles getting introduced in Beyond the Spider-Verse. But mentorship, because of how well the video game did, having them as a pair, and because Tom Holland already showed what a good mentor he'd be with Jean Grey, I think they'd have a mentor relationship for a bit. I think they're going to be mentee Miles for a bit, and then maybe we kill Peter Parker. I could see it happening down the line. Appreciate the love, man. But I think Beyond the Spider-Verse has to happen first for us to know really what direction they're going. Happy Days 420. What do you realistically think is a win for Clayface? It being good. It introducing a new side of the DCU. The boldness of it is already a win, but it being successful and bold. I don't know the budget. Anyone that talks about the budget is most likely making it up. But the budget's low. So the movie doesn't have to do crazy numbers. So if you're asking what I think of success for that, like $100 million, like it's not an expensive movie. So I think it's going to be a win box office, but I think a win for fans is a movie that feels like Clayface, a movie that feels like we get a new Gotham, a movie that feels like a unique take, and a movie that feels like a brand new superhero subgenre. And I think that's what we're getting, but those things I think would make it a win. Lobstar115. Good to see a lot of the regulars in here. It makes me happy. And also a lot of new faces in the super chat and just regular chat makes me happy. It's good to see everybody. Also, we were at 600 people at one point, 450 last I looked. Still at 370 after over an hour. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. I loved your casting video and agreed with all of them except one. My Magneto casting would be Lee Pace. He has a certain gravitas that Magneto has. I think I mentioned. Maybe I didn't. I meant to mention Lee Pace. I know he's one of the ones that a lot of people have brought up. I'd be okay with it. I think he has a cool voice. I think his Ronin is, it did not have a lot of things he could do. Like a zealot is a, kind of a directive of passion, but not a lot of, layers in that could really be done. Plus he was under a lot of makeup. I could see it. I don't know a lot of his work. I've seen a few things he's in and I've never been like, oh, what's he doing? And a few times I've been like, oh, that's an interesting take. So I would not be mad to see a chance. I'm obviously a little bit more invested in my two picks because those are the ones that I was like dreaming of. But I wouldn't be mad at Lee Pace. I've never seen anything that was like not a good performance. He's always given good performances. So I'm with you. I'm curious. We will see. And I that's one of the rumored ones. So we will find out together. Brock52. Good to see you, man. Brock says, Coy, you got to tell us which X-Men and Spider-Man issues you're missing so we can come together and help get them. That's very sweet. I am missing. But, and this is you just said a nice thing and then I'm going to sound like a dick. I want to make sure they're 7s and up, right? Like I don't CGC books because I think it makes them when you CGC a book, I might get one CGC because I want it for Spidey. But probably not. I kind of want my books out. I bag and board my books, right? Like all my books are bag and boarded. But for whatever reason, once a book is CGC'd, it feels like an item to me. It feels like it's just for the sake of monetizing or selling, and I don't do that. But using their scale, I want 7s and up. I want decent quality stuff. Now, obviously, when you get into the first year or two of Spider-Man, that's not going to be possible. That's tens of thousands of dollars. But the more recent, I need 129, the first Punisher, and that is, I want a decent quality because it's not that old. It's old, but it's not 60s. So 129 I need. I need issue 50, first Kingpin. I have 51, but I don't have 50. I need 50. I need 46, which is first Shocker, because I want a good quality one, because I love Shocker, so I don't want a meh condition. So 46, 50, and 129 are most of the new wave. Okay? And then I need 1 through 6. I need 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, I need the first 15 minus 7. I have a very good quality number 7. And then after 15, I have every Spider-Man in the world except for 46, 50, and 129. So I need 3 comics after issue 15, and I need the ones before 15 except issue 7. That's what I need. And then X-Men, I need 61 comics, and then I'm done. Every X-Men ever I have in 61 comics. And that's not memorized, but those are my Spider-Mans that I've memorized. Thank you. That's very kind. I'll look into my X-Men and try to have that memorized at some point. And I'm going to be being more with X-Men, because obviously I want to have them before the movie, if I can. Goofy G3K. Oh, Goofy Geek. That's clever. I like that. His name is Goofy GE3K, so it's Goofy Geek. I like it. Didn't Feige say it's not an actual reboot, just like a new place to jump in? I think it'll set a new status quo, but I doubt we'll recast roles. That's kind of what I'm saying. I think they might do an occasional person, but I don't think it's going to be a full reboot. I think the reboot is going to be that it's going to be X-Men centric. I think the new take is going to be that it is, Mutant Saga heavy. I think that's what's going to be predominant after Secret Wars. But I don't think we're going to be everything's new number 1. But we'll see. We'll see. 400 viewers. Yeah, dude, you guys are killing it today. Sunday is fun. I knew it'd be worth it on my day off. I wanted to see you guys. Sloan4464 coming in with, hey Coy, glad to see you doing good on here. Thank you, man. Glad to see you doing good on here. Rejects and DC Studios. Just wanted to ask, which era of X-Men do you hope the MCU adapts? Personally, 90s. 90s X-Men is my jam. I'm a certain age, so that kind of lines up. But I think 90s is so iconic for the X-Men. I think the Jim Lee stuff is formative. I think, when they brought in Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, that era was so important to the X-Men in the late 70s. And then I think the next important wave was the 90s. So either giant-size X-Men era, but tonally I'd love the 90s. So Jim Lee's stuff, Mark Silvestri, the Mall is my jam, and I kind of want that Mall era. So I would not personally want it to be just like the 5 X-Men, and I know a lot of people want that, but I don't think it really works in 2026. Like, that was 1960s, like 5 X-Men, 4 dudes, a girl, and Xavier, like, again, Sentinels, Magneto. I'd love to see a scene with the OG5 for the nostalgia, but I think there's so many more interesting characters. It'd be silly to ignore them just for essentialism to kick off. So the 90s era, I think, is my jam. All right. Thank you, Sloan. Mad Dog 24. What up? Been a while. I liked your casting video. Thank you. A lot of love for the casting video. If you guys haven't checked it out, people like it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Been watching X-Men Evolution. It's all right. It's dated, but all right. Don't like Rogue's portrayal that much. I remember liking Evolution quite a bit. I'm a 90s X-Men show guy, but I remember digging Evolution. I was the right age for it, but I remember liking Rogue, but I haven't seen it in 20 years, so I can't really speak to it anymore. But I dug it at the time, and I think it's a good second wave show, and the fact that it's so beloved is also freaking awesome. Franco3472, thank you, good sir. Hey, Coy, don't know if you're ever covered this anywhere, but wondering if you have any first dive reading recommendations for X-Men comics. Thanks. I'm actually going to make this video. This is on my 2-film video, like next week, so I'm not going to give too much away. But Astonishing X-Men, New X-Men, 90s X-Men. I'm going to talk about them in length, but like those would be 3 I'd start with. So X-Men from like 91, that issue number 1. Astonishing X-Men, Joss Whedon is, whatever as a person, but he wrote the hell out of some X-Men. New X-Men, Grant Morrison, Frank Whiteley. Check out those. I'm going to break those down in a video coming up. I'm probably going to do like a top 6 or 7, but those 3 are off the dome right now. Mad Dog 24 coming back. Any other good animation recommendations? Watch Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice, X-Men 97, most of the DC animated universe, but the old stuff's a little dated to me and childish. I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't watch as much animation as live action. I just, medium preference. I prefer the medium of live action. Batman Ninja Turtles is fucking awesome. It's from Jake Castorina, one of the producers and like head writers and just like runners of X-Men 97. He's awesome, and his Batman Turtles movie is probably my favorite animated thing out of DC. So I'd recommend that. Batman, the animated series, faux show, not dated, not childish, awesome. X-Men 92, if you like X-Men 97, you can go back. It does kind of waver in its art in the 4th and 5th season because of money, but great storytelling. Batman Beyond, check out fucking Batman Beyond. Those are my recs. Those are my recs. All right, people saying there wasn't stuttering after a time, which makes me happy. Christopher Abbott is growing on Saigon for Professor X, but still doesn't like it. I've only seen him in Wolfman, which I liked. But I don't know about him as Professor X either, but time will tell who they cast. He's no Sterling K. Brown, who's definitely my pick. And I would love to see that happen. Whoa. All right. I'm going to speed up a little bit because we're at 1 hour and 15 and there are so many, but I'm not leaving. I am not leaving until every super chat is answered. If more come in right now, I will answer them, but I'm going to go a little faster because I didn't realize that I was answering questions from like 12:20 and from like 10:20, and it is now almost 2 hours worth of stuff going on in here. Let me see where we left off. It just jumped to the bottom and I'm like, oh shit. Chai Bueza Dyke 900. Try Bueza Dyke 900. In MCU, could Emma Frost be an X-student of Professor X? Possibly, but she's older than the Jean Grey Cyclops casting, so I think what they're doing is making her older and a Hellfire, and that could be because of her experience with Xavier, but we don't really know how long Xavier's school has been established. We don't know how old Xavier is. We don't know any of that yet, so it's way too soon to really guess. She could absolutely be, though. That is absolutely an option. A former student, and maybe things went awry. Thank you. And then Eclipse77, thank you for the super chat. Eclipse says, we all have the characters. We have all the characters to a comic-accurate Civil War II adaptation, but instead of the Avengers fighting over the rights of Inhumans, they should fight over the rights of mutants. I agree they could totally do that. But I don't know how much they're going to be focusing on Avengers with X-Men. I think they need to do like 10 years of X-Men building, and then they can do more Avengers stuff. But I don't know, if the actors that, like you said, we do have all the characters. But, I mean, Brie Larson was treated like shit. I don't think Sam Wilson's Captain America has gotten his due. This next wave is just, people aren't treating the actors or the movies like they did. The vitriol towards the actors is crazy, but also like the apathy towards the new movies. Kevin Feige even came out and said Fantastic Four only made $500 million. In Marvel, that is like an only. Like, those movies cost hundreds of millions. So the bar is pretty high. And so I don't know how much will be focused on that going forward. But story-wise, you are 100% right. That could totally be a thing story-wise. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I love the idea because that would be a great AVX. Because, like, you always have the heroes fight each other first, then team up. So I think it's a great idea that's inspired. I just don't know if it ever happened in the movies with the budget and the timing and all that stuff. All right. Let's see here. What super chats is he reading that don't match what I'm seeing? I hope I'm reading the right ones. These are from today. They're in. I just had to scroll way up. Mad Dog 24. I pray Disney doesn't. Disney. Ghost Rider. Go mature. I am very curious because Ryan Gosling has said he doesn't want to do too dark of stuff for his kids. He wants to do things his kids can watch. And he's been focused on that. But I don't know how old his kids are. So maybe they're growing up and he wants to do like a PG-13, a little bit darker. Because you can go very dark with Ghost Rider. You can also Disney Ghost Rider. So I don't know what level Gosling wants, and I know he's very involved in this. He's the one that brought the idea to Feige. He's the one that seems to be shepherding a lot with Sean Levy. Sean Levy did do an R-rated movie, though. Deadpool and Wolverine is pretty dark. It opens with Logan's corpse. So I don't know what they'll end up doing, and that's dark in a funny way. That's dark in a light way. But I don't know what direction, but we will see. I don't know what Disney wants. I don't know what Gosling wants, but I'm excited they're doing a Ghost Rider, and I'm excited it's coming. Ghost Rider. Is that something? Is that anything? Ryan Ghost Rider. Adrian. MH8OP. Thank you very much, Adrian. Coming in with, check out Lamar Johnson. He'd be a great Nightcrawler, pro dancer, and acrobat in The Last of Us, and brother with Aaron Pierre. Oh, that's cool. Let me see. Lamar Johnson. Lamar Johnson. He is... I mean, he's working. It's good to see. I don't know him, so I can't necessarily vouch. But, if he's in stuff and he's a good enough actor to be in this many things without me having seen him and he's a dancer, I am into giving him the shout out. I will look into this fella, but I don't know his work. But yeah, we will see. Time will tell. Lamar Johnson is Adrian's pick for Nightcrawler, pro dancer and acrobat. That's awesome. That's I like when actors are also like physical because that does allow for way more roles and versatility. Destined Hellfire. Clarification for previous previous super chat. I meant peer in respect to MCU. I don't think they need to rehash 90s cartoon of her being audience stand-in. I still see her as youthful. So again, I hope I didn't disrespect you. But my opinion of Jean is that she's like a matriarch in a way. She's grown up in the X-Men, and then she's kind of like a leader adjacent. And then Jubilee is very much like the cub to Logan as like wolf and cub. That's their relationship. He has that with a lot of people. He had that with Kitty Pryde. He had it with Jubilee. So I still see her starting as a youthful character. I don't see her starting as a grown. But we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do. People want part 2. Oh, that makes me happy. Hell yeah. Yes, part 2. All right. That makes me happy. All right. A lot of yeses, a lot of excitement, a lot of exclamation points. I wish Marvel would give you a podcast similar to DC. I made sure I wasn't exclusive. They could. If you're watching Marvel as an entity, the person that is Marvel. Hey. Let's see. Hearts in the chat for part 2. I did see some hearts popping up earlier. Maybe that's it. Fox's greatest. Oh man, Anya Taylor-Joy, man. I would love for her to come back. Douglas McKinney, Darth Vader, member of the Koi Pond, member of the Koi Cast World, and OG of this page. Brand new day reminds me how much impact each day of young life has. Beautiful message. It's good to remember kids are going through it. I'm stoic about Parkinson's due to time. Doug has Parkinson's and has been very vocal about it and navigating it. It's been really an honor to watch like how strong Doug is with everything he goes through. And he's got kids. One of them works at an AMC, and it's so cool to hear about that element. And I do agree with that perspective of how much impact each day of life can have. Like, as you age, time just goes by so much faster because of perspective. And like, as a kid, say you're 10 years old, a summer is a 40th of your entire life's perspective. And you don't really remember the first 5 years. So it's like a 20th of your entire life. And now a 20th of your entire life is like, which is crazy. Just like the staggering weight of time and its speed. Like, when you're a kid, a summer lasts forever because you've only lived so much. But as you're an adult, you've lived so much, so it all just goes by so fast. And the impact of the hormones, the emotions, the novelty, the newness of it. It's crazy. And I definitely felt that some in the movie, which I'm with you. I'm with you. Nuff said, New York, great name. Think the next beast will be slim or husky? I mean, beast needs to be like stout. It needs to be like as beast at least. I don't know how they'll go. I'd love for them to do like, the kind of hulking stout beast. But then Nick Holt was skinny, so I could see it going either way. I want big hands and feet. But I don't know how they do that without it looking preposterous. We'll see. I'm curious. Hadn't thought of that. I'm going to say husky. But we'll see. All right. Let's see. People want a part 2. Some villains. Douglas McKinney, my 21-year-old positivity despite autism and type 1 diabetes show her strength. I was just talking about that awesome kid. Commendable, man. Type 1 diabetes, cannot imagine autism and just being awesome and positive through it. Hell yes. Shouts to your kid. Shouts to rocking the AMC. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. There are people in the shouts with loved my wife. Big ups, lots of love. Oh, Mrs. J, it's cool to see her called that. It was, when she changed her name to Anya Jandreau on Instagram, I was like, seeing Anya Jandreau really like, ooh, in the feels. It's good to see the Mrs. J appreciation. All the love from my wife makes me so happy. So yeah, we're still almost 40 minutes behind. Jawan 2. Thank you very much for the super chat. You excited for Midnight Marvel Comic Universe? I am. I'm really curious about it. It's a very different take. I think it's a really cool opportunity to mix it up, and I think we've got a lot going on in the world of the main storyline. So I think it'd be cool to see some new blood on characters, especially because some things feel stagnant. It's always good to throw in different things. So yeah, I'm excited. I always love a little imprint and some versatility. We will see. Ba-da-ba. All right, let's see. Kathleen Kennedy 67, first time chatter. Don't always agree with Koi's takes, but respect the passion and work ethic. Hell yeah. All we can hope for is respect in this world. It's all one can hope for. All right, let's see. Uh-oh, it froze. Uh-oh, guys. I was doing so good catching up, and then it froze. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to go in manually to the YouTube studio and then go to chats and supers that way. My apologies. I'm glad I did this last time where we missed one, and I had to learn how to, actually manually find all the things, and I'm so glad I did that so I can do this live with you lovelies. Let's go to where we left off, and let's see. This does mean I'm not looking at the I'm going to look at it after, but I don't currently see the live chat, so I cannot just give the occasional shout because I'm in the super chat window, which is a separate little thing. All right, we left off with Douglas McKinney, I think we talked about, and then shouts to his daughter, and now we are talking Midnight Marvel Universe. Elder Emo! Emo's not a phase. It's a lifestyle. Elder Emo, thank you very much for the super chat. As a Magic main in Rivals, who is your fan casting for her in the new MCU movies? Not Anya, even though she killed it in the role. How about some comics runs? Her origin was wild. Okay. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy is the answer. But since that's been excluded, Magic. I see her so much as her. Like, Anya Taylor-Joy was so formative as Magic. This is one of the times I could go for an unknown, like an actual, like, very intense little Russian girl. Because, like, a young, angry, demon Russian child is pretty iconic. Let me look. This is why you guys, obviously don't see behind the scenes, but it is a decent amount of research I do before my fan cast videos, so it's not something I usually just do on the fly. Since they already cast Emma Frost, what about the girl from Gen V? Maddie Phillips. Maddie Phillips, there's her name. That's what I was trying to find. Maddie Phillips is my... since we can't use Anya Taylor-Joy, I'm going Maddie Phillips for Magic. What say you to Maddie Phillips? Let me know in the chat, because that's my current pick. All right, let me get back to... And then her comic recs. She's got a run right now. There's a Magic and Colossus run. There's also a Magic mini-series I'd recommend. And then her early appearances in the 80s are awesome. Those would be the ones I'd recommend. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love and the Magic love. True31 the one. Good to see you, sir. What would your studio pitch be if Andrew Garfield wanted to do one last Spider-Man film? It's a lot of power and responsibility you've just given me. I would want to see a... He wants to do... you know what? I'm gonna be informed by... Because you just asked for a Spider-Man movie. I could spend hours thinking about it. But I'm going to be informed by what he wants. He said he wants to do like a road trip comedy. Recently he said this. So I'm going to pitch the road trip comedy to make it so he signs on, because we want Andrew Garfield in this. Andrew Garfield and Deadpool go on a road trip. And Ryan Gosling, sorry, man, that's the second time in the wrong way. Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield's chemistry, I think, would be great. And I think it's to, it's something absurd. This is so dumb. No, I don't want to waste his last appearance on this. I was going to say they're going to get a new suit, and they've got to drive cross-country, and then they get there, and it's the symbiote suit. But that's too absurdist. I want a real Andrew Garfield. Okay, after the events of No Way Home, the last time we saw Andrew Garfield, he talked about how he had to learn to control his grief and his anger and navigate what it is to be Spider-Man after losing Gwen. His next appearance is in a film where he encounters a symbiote, and he goes through the process of emotional like devastation, hitting rock bottom, make it like an addiction metaphor, make him addicted to the release of pain. Like he has the symbiote and he no longer feels the grief and agony and trauma of losing Gwen, and he gets addicted to it. He gets addicted to the freedom. It's like heroin. And through that addiction, he starts to lash out and realizes like he is addicted, and like he hurt someone, do some Back in Black-esque things in there, and obviously some symbiote suit, OG run stuff. And then upon realizing he's become everything he was afraid he would, he rejects the symbiote, and then it's the coping with rejection storyline. Like the symbiote fights back. Just this one movie, I don't want to introduce Venom, but post-credit scene, Alan Ritchson is Venom. But in rejecting the symbiote, he realizes that he is worth it. Like he himself is enough. And then he meets Mary Jane. After years of mourning Gwen Stacy, he deserves happiness. He realizes he deserves happiness, and he meets his MJ, and we get a happy ending for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And the real villain is your own lack of ability to love yourself, but there's also villains in it. But yeah, the Venom symbiote's the big one, and you're basically navigating like an interpersonal journey. I'd find some places for comedy because I think Andrew Garfield's the funniest Spider-Man. I'd put some funny villains in it, but I'd also have some cool villains in it. Like it would allow for a lot of villains, but Venom being the big one. Hopefully that answers your question. I've just thought of it. I'm hoping it's decent. Mel NYC reviews. Coy, it's a dream of many to find someone who not only loves your dream but also uplifts it. Continue to be blessed. You and your wife, brother. Much respect. Oh, that is very sweet, man. It's always good to see your name, but that was a very sweet message. My wife is the absolute best. It is so cool that I've never been in a relationship where I trusted so blindly and like I know there's a net to catch me, and she's such a partner in so many ways, and like I'd marry her again tomorrow. I'd marry her every day. Like I love her just so fucking much. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, happy days. Oh, speaking of, his wedding. Was Kevin Smith difficult to get to your wedding? No, Kevin's a buddy. So I asked him. Wasn't difficult. I just asked him. I was actually with my parents. So it was the four of us. And it was really cute because, I was at Golden Apple. We were doing a thing, and, my parents happened to be in town, and I was like, hey, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember like he got all like excited, and I got excited. Then I told my parents, he said yes, and they got excited. And it was one of those like four of us like hee hee. But yeah, I just asked the guy, and then leading up to it, like he travels a lot for touring with movies, touring as him. Like he's just a busy fly around guy. So just booked out the date way early, and then leading up to it, just kind of touch base, and we see each other occasionally. But on the morning of, we talked about like what was important to me in the vows, and like what was important to me to include, and we kind of just navigated like the language of it, and it was really cool to like build that with Kevin and like talk about love, and his love for Jen, and he's met Anya a few times, and like how much he likes Anya for me, and they have like inside jokes and referencing a couple of those, and he quoted Prince in the ceremony. Like it was a really cute, it was very specific to us, and also I like Kevin's the reason I do all this. Like without him doing Hall H, I wouldn't have dreamt of Hall H. Without him introducing Brody to the world in Mallrats, I didn't know other people talked like me until Mallrats came out. So like I wouldn't have known to do this, and then he's been a mentor to me of like the bars, Kevin, and like he's such a good person. He's so kind, and he just loves this stuff forever. So I wanted someone to marry me that meant a lot to me, and he means so much to me. So some people are religious and they want a priest or whatever their person is, and that's Kevin to me. He's like the fixture of my goals: to be a good person, to be a kind person, to be someone that loves loudly, and someone that's creative, and someone that inspires. So Kevin's the closest thing I have to that type of entity. So when I asked him, he was down, and it was really cool. I haven't actually talked about that yet. But yeah, that was pretty friggin' special. If Brock 52, if Mallrats 2 happens, your boy's in it. So Kevin will put me in Mallrats 2. We've talked about it. I even know kind of how. We talked about it years ago on some live streams, and then when I see him, I'm always like, Mallrats 2. So yeah, eventually, yeah. So as I see in here, I would love to. I'd be honored to be in a Kevin Smith joint, and hopefully it happens. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. All right, we've got some more, because you guys are killing it today. We've got Yuka Prieta. Yuka Prieta, very cool name. Yuka Prieta says, as a comic book lover, how does it feel to be printed in one? Surreal. I don't know if me spilling water on them is a metaphor, but insane. It's so cool. It's been my dream since I was a kid, and surreal, and honoring. It feels like an honor. It's the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. It's actually like, it's the second time, right? Like the season 1, we had a picture as well, but it never gets old. I remember the backs of comic covers with like Juicy Fruit Gum and Got Milk, and certain iconic images, like the Combo Man. Like I remember comic back covers so much, because when you're flipping through comics, you see the same images. Now I'm one. That's crazy. It's honestly one of the great honors of my life. I think it's incredible. So thank you for the question. Goofy Geek. Spidey teams up with a different MCU character in each movie. Iron Man, Nick Fury, Strange, now Frank, and Hulu. What? Black Widow. But yeah. So, who do you think for Spidey 5 F4? I think Human Torch. I think they could use a boost in that, exposure for the F4. But also, that is the one from the comics we have not seen. No Spider-Man has ever met a Human Torch. We've had 3 sets of torches, and we've had 3 sets of main Spideys. They've never met. It's time. So, comfortably Human Torch. I personally didn't connect Joseph Quinn's take on Johnny as much as I'd like to, so maybe that would help. But very comfortably F4. You could recreate the first cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 1 is F4. The science element that is growing as it should. There's a lot of ways to do it. I would definitely do F4. Since you already said that one, my other one would be obviously Hulk and... Hulu was... wow, my brain didn't change the U for a K. That really, I just thought of the channel. Hulk, Punisher and Hulk, and Black Widow. So, obviously, we've had those. That's so funny. My brain just couldn't handle it. Who else? I think Hulu is Hulk. Thank you. Man, who else would I want? I think, we've seen him with so many people, but Wolverine is one of the ones that I'm so attached to, and I also think that'd be a cool way, as they bring in the new Wolverine. Again, I don't want Wolverine to take over the X-Men, but I just can't separate my my comic love, so I think that would also be one as well. All right, I'm spending so much time on each of these because they're such good questions. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Sarah Hatchadorian, always good to see your name. Sarah Hatchadorian, where can I buy the comic you're on? It'll be my first DC comic. Your local comic shop. Go to, type in Google local comic shop, type in comic shop, find local proximity. I'm on the DC Comics. So, every 3rd or 4th cover is me. It's on certain titles. I know I'm on Absolute Wonder Woman right now. I know I'm on Superman 40's alternate cover, Justice League Unlimited's alternate cover, this Superman 40 alternate cover, this cover of Superman Action Comics 1100. I'm on these for sure. So look at this back. It should be at your local comic shop. That's so cool. First DC comic. I'm honored. When you buy it, tag me on socials if you're on them, and I'll share it. Thank you. If anyone gets this comic, I'm happy to share it. Tag me, and I'll share it wide. I appreciate it. Malik, do you think they should do a New Mutants project with the OG New Mutants lineup after the initial MCU X-Men trilogy? Would you rather it be a special presentation, show, or full-length film? I think down the line, I think New Mutants, Generation X, X Factor, X Force could all be forces. But New Mutants, I would wait until there are old mutants. So I'd do it down the line, right? You need them to be the new wave, which implies that the other ones have been here a while. So that'd be a phase 3 or 4. And then I'd do a movie, but phase 3 or 4 down the line. Great question. Darth Dad, thank you for the moment of silence. Thomas Schubert, thank you for the moment of silence. It looks like you guys come back with others, so I'm not going to scour the live chat. Thank you just for being kind. Christian Unpronounceable says, just want to say, cool stream on RR yesterday. Hey, thank you. That was so fun. I did 3 panels. We did a charity for, a con for charity. All the money went to various, charities, but all the panels, everything that was donated went to those charities. So there was nothing kept for us. And it was cool to do something for charity. I hosted an X-Men panel, Panel X, with Isaac, who voices Bishop, with Eric and Julia, who are the original showrunners of the X-Men 90 show, which was really cool, and Rob Liefeld, who invented Cable. What was crazy is Cable obviously is an X-Men show, but they had never met Rob, so I got to be Maury, and it's always good to see Rob. I've known Rob for years, but it was really cool to pair that group, and that was a great panel. We did a Rejects panel, and then I hosted a Greg and Cinepals panel as well, so up on that stage quite a bit. You can check out that live stream over at Rejects. Thank you, Christian. Huey33, hi Coy. Do you watch Caped Crusader season 2? I feel they ruined Joker. I didn't love Caped Crusader season 1, so I did not watch the second season. I just didn't connect to it. I'm really picky about my Batman. I love Batman. He's up there with Spider-Man and X-Men. So I just didn't want to spend time watching a thing that I didn't connect with. So I didn't watch season 1. So I have not watched season 2. I'm bummed they ruined Joker for you. Luckily, every universe is a different thing, and the Joker is still the Joker elsewhere, and you always have those stories. So this is just their take, and if you didn't identify, blissfully, there are so many more. Fargonaut asks, can I ask something funny, Coy? Do you snore, and if so, how loud? Do you also sleep talk or sleepwalk? It'd be funny if you did something cool like that. I used to snore, and then I lost a bunch of weight. I got a little chunky. I lost 20 pounds for the wedding. I'm currently down 20. I lost 21 pounds. I want to lose 27, and I gained 1 back. So I still want to lose like 7 or 8 pounds. But I don't snore anymore. Sometimes I sleep talk, but not a lot. Considering my job, I thought I would, but I've asked people, and I don't. I don't sleepwalk anymore. When I was a kid, I slept walk, and one time, this is a funny story. Here's your funny story. One time I slept walked, and I went to sleep in the bathtub, and then I moved my arms, and it made a loud sound, and then I freaked out, and it made a bunch of loud sounds, and I scared the shit out of myself. I was 5 years old. Very traumatic memory of thunk, 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 but it was me, because I slept walked into the bathtub. There's your funny sleepwalk talk story. Thomas Hubert, thank you for the chat, Fargonaut. Thomas Hubert says, wasn't Supergirl a Red Lantern for a little while? Yes. This is the same run as Blue Lantern. Is that also Elseworlds? That was not. This is a new one. This is a completely separate Elseworlds. It's only on issue 3 or 4. This is brand new, but yes, that did happen. Different canon. This is a new Elseworld entirely, and it's awesome. Great question. Great memory. Dante Woodbeck, Ian Gary, or Islam next week. Wait a second. That's next week? Hold on. Shit, you're right. I'm gonna go... Man, I've never seen a single performance from Islam that wasn't terrifying. He is such a monster. I think I'm giving it to Islam. He's just insane. He's so commanding unless he comes out and does something. I mean, he's 6'3", though. He is such a beast. Unless he comes out and does something, out of nowhere and, knocks him out, I think Islam's got it. But great question. I didn't realize that was next week. DG, I hope the MCU takes notes from X-Men Evolution. I think they will. There is a lot I think they're going to be inspired by. If you look at Spider-Man Brand New Day, took notes from the animated stuff, from the video games, from the other movies. I think the X-Men, since there's a vastness of other adaptations, I think they're absolutely gonna, and all the people that are writing on it are such big fans of the 90s stuff. I think they absolutely will look at the 90s and 2000s as pretty formative. Hugh Coy, big fan here from Argentina. Thank you, man. I love your content. I appreciate that. I had the lucky to assist you at San Diego Comic-Con in 2018. What? If you had to recommend another convention to go there, would you recommend, and why? Maybe New York City or WonderCon. Oh, that's awesome. Hugh? Hell yeah, 2018. That was so long ago. I would. I'm very stoked you made it to San Diego. That's the big one. That's the Mecca. That's awesome. I'm glad you made it there. I would say New York City Comic Con over WonderCon because WonderCon is more of a regional con. It's more of a small. It is very comic based, which is sick. But if you liked the spectacle and scope and enormity of the Mecca, I would say New York Comic Con is the next must because it's so different than San Diego. It is very comic focused. There's a lot of artist alley. It just feels different at the Javits Center. There's a lot of really cool announcements. I like New York Comic Con quite a bit. I don't know if I'm going yet this year or not, depending on my schedule, but I highly recommend it if you get the chance. I'd say New York Comic Con, Hugh. Thank you for the love from Argentina. I appreciate it. Arcade coming in with a very kind super chat. Thank you very much. Hey, man, I'm an aspiring comic book artist and fan of you. Oh, that's freaking awesome, man. I'd love you to draw your favorite character, maybe Spidey. Saw you at the Cantina a few weeks ago, but Introversion 1, sigh. Hope to draw something cool for you. Oh, that's awesome, man. I love the Cantina. I actually talked to JC this morning. I think Spidey is my favorite. If you follow me on socials, DM me, please. Spidey's probably my favorite guy, favorite superhero. Deadpool is in there. X-Men are in there. Chamber. But Spidey's my number one, so I'd be honored, man, and DM me, and thank you. And next time, say hi. I'm giving you an express directive. Come say hi. If you see me not in a bathroom, because that gets weird, and it's happened, and it's funny when people wait outside the bathroom and acknowledge it would have been weird, because it would have. Anything but during a movie, during a heated meal, or during the bathroom. I'm down otherwise. If you guys see me out and about, say what up. Yeah, I love talking to people, so come say hi next time. And thank you. Destined, coming in hot with another. You can only bring in one to the MCU. Squirrel Girl, Jeff the Land Shark, or Devil Dinosaur. Who do you use and how do you pitch it? Good questions today. Destined, I'm going to go with a Jeff the Land Shark included in a Gwenpool movie. Gwenpool is not just Spider-Gwen as Deadpool. No, no, no. She is a character from our universe that knows everyone's secret identity because she reads the comic books and gets trapped in a comic book universe. That level of absurdism allows for a Jeff the Land Shark. Just by the nature of Gwenpool, you can have a crazy-ass land shark, and I would. Jeff the Land Shark would be a trusted noble steed. He'd be a sidekick. He'd be a character that gets out of problems and also causes them. I want a wild, reckless, abandoned Jeff the Land Shark, and that is a goal. That is a dream. That is a Gwenpool. All right, we are still at over 350 of you guys, and I appreciate that very, very dearly. We ain't leaving until we answer every single super chat, so I appreciate you guys. Much love. Please leave a like. Please comment about any of the stuff we talked about. If you're watching this later, we are Super Chat City in here. We are going for it. Next up, we got... I know things take time from Lobstar. I know things take time, but I hope we get any news about Wonder Woman for the DCU next year. She's so important, and as a fan, it sucks to get no news. I don't know any. I'm honest. I know nothing more than you about Wonder Woman. I assume that's cooking. I mean, the universe just started, so I don't know what it was like in '08. I wasn't reporting on stuff in '08, so I don't know what it was like between Iron Man and Incredible Hulk, like how much they announced, how much they went out. I know it's a different world now, so it's like a different expectation, but I definitely want them to get it right. So I'm impatient about, Batman and Wonder Woman and Green Arrow, and I get it, but I know that I'll be more upset if it's rushed and then I don't want what they deliver. So I don't know anything, but hopefully next year. It sounds like, they are rolling out stuff at all times. I think right now we're focused on Lanterns and Clayface, and maybe after that, maybe we get some announcements for what's to come. But I think she is very important, and they know that. So time will tell, Lobstar. Oh, happy days. Last one. Any chance of Dr. Phosphorus and Clayface? That'd be so sick. I would assume not, because it is a medium budget, and I think they're going to be so focused on character. But if any character could make it, that'd be sick as hell. That character design is awesome, so intense, so rad. I would love that. I don't personally think it's going to happen. There's always a chance, and yes, that's the canon, I think. So I would love that, but I don't necessarily assume we'll get Dr. Phosphorus, but that is a great idea. It'll be freaking rad. Losing my voice. Jacob Beach, very, very kind super chat. Thank you. Good sir. Coy, I sent you a DM with a reading question starting the whole Krakoa run. I can't find where to go next. I read Giant Size #1, obviously. New X-Men, House of M. Do I go House and Powers of X now? Have a great day, man. Yes, that's exactly where you go. House of X and Powers of X is actually House of 10 and Powers of 10. It's a funny little use of the X symbol. But yes, that is exactly where you go next. So after House of M, there is more you could read, but you could also jump right into House of X and Powers of X. I'm sorry I didn't see your DM. I get hundreds, and a lot of them are just so fucking angry that it's exhausting to go in there, so I don't often check my DM, so I apologize, but hopefully this answers House of 10, Powers of 10, and that'll take you on a very interesting journey right into Krakoa, which will take you almost into now with Jed McKay and the post-Krakoa stuff. So you're on a good path, and you're doing it the right way. I love the way you're going. Yes, that is the answer. Darth Dad! Darth Dad says, I missed your recommendations for new comics to buy in the upcoming week. I need to know what's on the Koi radar to read and get. The tricky thing is you can see the metrics on YouTube videos, and when I start talking about comic books themselves, it drops so much that I was like, okay, I don't want to cut it because it's important to me, so I have to trim it. And the thing that got trimmed was the next week, because like it's the algorithm. If it shows comic books dump audience, then people no longer get recommended to me for comic stuff. So it's a really unfortunate side effect of how algorithms work, that I just don't have the opportunity to do that without losing it pushing my videos or new people finding us. So I've just had to do a little dance. This week, though, I will give you them right now, just for you, with this super chat. The books I'm going to be checking out this week, the week of August 12th, are Absolute Batman number 23, Action Comics number 1101, X-Men 35, Barbara Gordon Breakout number 4, The Fury of Firestorm number 5, The Infernal Hulk number 10, Supergirl 16, Punisher number 7, Wolverine 25, Bleeding Heart 7. I'm going to be checking out Batman and Robin Year 1 Dynamic Duos number 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1. I didn't know that was a new number 1 coming out. That is happening this week. Clayface Celebrity Dirt number 2, looking forward to that. X-Men United number 6, Emperor Aquaman number 20, Venom 260, Green Lantern Corps number 19, Nice House by the Sea number 11, Generation X23 number 7, Doctor Strange number 9, Exquisite Corpses Rascal Randy number 2, Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity number 5. We're going to be checking out Queen in Black Thor number 1, X-Men 97 Season 2 number 3, Of the Earth number 4, Jeff the Landshark Superstar number 2. Also, gonna be checking out, might be it, looking, scrolling, X-Men of Apocalypse Omega number 1. And I think that is all of them, you lovelies. Pretty big week. A lot of good stuff a-coming. Hopefully that helped you. And yeah, sorry, it was one of those things that was like hurting the page. And I was like, damn, I hate to cut that. Darth Dad, that is what I'm checking out this week on the 12th. Okay. Oh, happy days. Last one. Must be crazy to see your face on a DC comic. It is absolutely banana sandwich. It is so obscene. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. Yes, it is crazy. It is awesome. I am honored. So freaking cool. Mel NYC Reviews. Random side note, the Crypt Keeper showing all those beautiful comic images in every episode made me buy my first comic years ago. I hope we bring back live action horror comic comedies. LOL. That is so specific. Live action horror comic comedies. I'm trying to do that with comics, and I'm not the Crypt Keeper, but I'm hoping, I hear people saying, like, got my first comic because of you. Sarah Hatchadorian might get her first comic because of my face on it. Like, I want people to pick up runs. That's why I do this live stream. So hopefully this is the non-horror comedy, but with live action, and I'll be the Crypt Keeper in like 60 years. But for now, hopefully it's enough for you. And I appreciate the love for the Crypt Keeper. TC Soares / T Boogie. A sticker of silence, a flying pear of a man, emoji of silence and love. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Dante Woodbeck. I think we got our last two. Dante Woodbeck, UFC rules. Oh, nope. More came in hot. Dante Woodbeck says, UFC rules Red Hood versus Nightwing. Who wins? Fun fucking question. UFC rules, I'm going Nightwing. I think of Nightwing as being a better acrobat. I think of him being a more skilled tactical fighter. I think Red Hood relies on his guns too much. I think he's a great fighter. But between the two, Nightwing has more years experience. He fights with his head and his heart. Red Hood gets clouded with anger. And he's a little gun reliant. So I'd give Nightwing the edge. Great question. Fargonaut, thanks for answering my super chat, Koi. Of course. Follow-up questions. How loud was your snoring before you lost weight and fixed it? And did you snore when you were younger or only recent? Congrats on your wedding. Fascinated by the fascination of my snoring. It was like audible but not loud. Like, it wasn't like it would wake people up, but it was like audible. Like, but yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. It was medium to light. And I only snored when I gained a little weight. So recent, like a year ago. I don't know if I snored as a kid. Not sure. This feels like a trick. But you're welcome. And then Destined. I was done with super chats and then you cooked with the Gwenpool hype. I would love to see you do a video pitching Gwenpool for the MCU. Dude, if we can keep growing this page, I can start to do more and more obscure shit, and it's happening. We're going to hit 70K today, I think. And when we hit 100K, I feel like that's when I can really just like lean into shit. Because that just snowballs. So I'm hustling, trying to get to 80K by the end of the year. 100K by the end of the year. I'm trying to get to like 75K by my birthday. My birthday's in 5 weeks. I think we're going to do it. It felt like a crazy dream, but now it's happening. So 75K by my birthday and then 100K by the end of the year is the goal. And then next year we can really go crazy. And next year we got Secret Wars. Next year, my Doomsday coverage hopefully helps, but next year Secret Wars and Man of Tomorrow. We've got so much next year, so I definitely am going to be going a little more crazy. But one day Gwenpool pitch. Regina BKR. Regina says, Coy, thank you for teaching me all about the comic universes. Trying to catch up on knowledge with my 16-year-old son. Congrats from a 50-plus mama from the UK. Regina, that is, pardon my French, so fucking awesome. I love that I help you have a connection with your son. I love that you're on YouTube. I love that you're rocking out from the UK. I love that I've got a 50-plus audience. I love that you're invested to connect and that you care about these universes. All of that warms my heart so much. Thank you. That's so fucking rad. I truly, that means the world. That's my favorite comment today. Thank you. Huey33, do you think Bucky should have the shield from then Falcon? No. I think they spent an entire show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a whole show about why Bucky shouldn't have the shield. He's a murderer. He is not mentally well. He doesn't want it, and it's not his to wield. So I don't think Bucky should have the shield. I think Sam Wilson is Captain America with the shield, personally, and I think the show did a good job illustrating why. Jacob Beach, you're the man. Thank you, Coy. You're the man. Thank you, Jacob Beach. I very much appreciate the super chats today. I think that was the last one. I'm refreshing because I will not leave until every single super chat is answered. We got 2 more. Arcade says, Arcade across all platform, ready to bring your character to life. Which platform would be best to reach out? Instagram would be best. It may take a couple days. It's a scary place in there, but I will keep an eye out for Arcade. I appreciate it very much. That's fucking awesome. And say hi next time. Thank you, Arcade. Kimball Wolfs, what are WYR, a top tier VR game for Doctor Strange or Iron Man? Would you write? Would you read? Would you read? I don't know what would you are, but a top tier VR game for Doctor Strange or Ant-Man. The creative gameplay and visuals would be crazy. I would love a Doctor Strange. Ant-Man could also be insane. I hadn't thought of that, but I've thought of Doctor Strange before with like casting spells and having those in front of you and like Dormammu and like immersive. That'd be insane. Ant-Man hadn't considered. That'd be dope as fuck. I would absolutely play that. Hell yes. Co-signed. Kimball Wolves. Make it happen. Develop it. That, I believe, you lovelies, is everything. We still have 330 of you in here. Please hit that like. Please leave a comment below. I so appreciate the abundance today. I so appreciate it. YouTube shows the top 100 hype videos. Hell yeah. Nightwing Boy Wonder, when's your birthday? Mine's September 5th. Mine's September 15th. I am September 15th. We're both coming up, man. Birthdays are coming at us. That is crazy. DFlow99 with the last super chat. Any comic refs for Doomsday? I know you made a video already. I did. And you refused to watch it, DFlow. I would say the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars run. I would also, just for fun, read the original Secret Wars run from the 80s. I would read the Doom comic that was in the last 5 years. It opens with an MF Doom quote. That book is really solid, and I feel like that'll inform it. And then I would also check out the Avengers Hickman stuff. And I'll make more. I'll make like another what to read Doomsday video in the weeks leading up, like right before. Like I'll probably make a November or December Doomsday video with all the updated information and like what we might have learned since then. And last but certainly not least, Live the Dans closing us out with a super sticker being just great. Time runs out. Also recommend. Good call. WongNate616. Time runs out. Absolutely recommend. And we'll do a birthday stream for all these birthday September kids sometime in September. Not on my actual birthday, because that day is for me. But sometime in September, we'll do a birthday stream. We'll give some love to all the September kids. Guys, this was a 2-hour live stream. There was only 2 things in news, but we had 300 to 500 of you rocking out with me. This was such a pleasure. What a way to spend a Sunday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Calm down, Rich. Yes, D23 and Lanterns talk next weekend. On Sunday, Lanterns will be out, so I can't talk about it until after. But I will be going to the premiere on Thursday. I'll give you guys some non-spoiler thoughts, as well as I assume Friday will be the big Marvel stuff at D23. So expect a big old live stream next Saturday with my spoiler-free Lantern thoughts, as well as my D23 coverage, which will be on Friday, and then a live stream Saturday. You can expect my X-Men 97 finale video this Wednesday, and you can probably expect a part 2 casting video, maybe one more thing, but like I got to slow down a little bit. Today's my only day off, and we were here, so I haven't really recovered from all of last week's stuff. But I will. I take it back. There's 2 more super chats. We've got one from Fargonaut, who's coming in hot. Fargonaut, he's just coming in swinging. Big old super chat. Thank you, good sir. Saying, thanks again, Coy. This isn't a trick. I think you snoring is funny to me. I'm sorry if I'm creeping you out. I wonder how you know you snored if you didn't wake anyone up. Were you a mouth or nose snorer? There's different types of snoring, you know. Thanks. I think I was a mouth snorer. And I know because if I slept in or if I went to sleep before my person, they told me. And they were like, you're snoring. Don't do that. Roll over. Or also like, are you breathing okay? And I'd only gained like 20 pounds, but it was 20 pounds. So apparently whatever that did got me breathy. I think it was probably a little nose, but I think it was mainly mouth. And I appreciate you not creeping or not doing it for creepy reasons. I appreciate the sentiment. I was making sure this wasn't some bit. But thank you for the very kind super chat. I hope I answered all your snoring-based questions to the best of my abilities. I know because of context of people around me, and I think it was mouth snoring. And last, we've got a sweet, sweet super sticker with an adorable samurai dog winning an award from TC Soares. Being kind. I appreciate it. And thank you very much to everybody. Yes, 2-hour live stream, Moonbug Beep Beep. Thank you for the super chats from everybody. Big ol' super chat today. So very kind. Big ol' episode, top to bottom. Koi no longer snores. Hashtag Koi no longer snores. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the love this week. We've grown this from like 58K to 68K and now 69K. Nice. In a month. And I'm so grateful. I think we went into Comic-Con at like 59 and now we're at 69. We've grown like 10K in a month. So thank you so fucking much. You guys are amazing. If you're new to this page, I cover movies, I cover comics, I cover TV, and I am so appreciative of you guys being in the koi pond. Thank you to everyone that joined me in the chat today. Thank you to everyone with the super chat. It means the world. That's how we can do this show. And this week and weeks have been really special on YouTube. So thank you guys so fucking much. I'm going to make that part 2 video. I'm going to cook up some other stuff for you guys. I want to keep growing this page. I love doing this. I love this page, and I love this koi pond. And Samuel Fair joining as a member. Thank you for joining the koi pond. There's 100 videos now that are just for members of old reviews that didn't do well, and I might start doing the physical media stuff over for the members again, because the reason I didn't is every time I do a movie category is me doing the physical media, and if YouTube was like, people don't watch his movie stuff, it hurt my movie videos. So if we do members videos, it won't hurt the other videos. So physical media stuff might be coming back over to members, and I might do some music stuff over there as well, but that's after I recover from Comic-Con, Spider-Man, X-Men medley. You guys fucking rock. I appreciate you. Fargonaut closing us out with hashtag Koi no longer snores, ... for now, laughy face. Love you so much, Koi. Bye. Thank you so much again. You're welcome. Thank you very much, Fargonaut, ... for now, winky face. I don't want to snore again. I don't want it. Thank you for having me dive into all that goodness. And Samuel Fair, thanks for joining, man. Long time fan. Happy to be here and be supporting. Thank you. All right. Much love, guys. I'm going to boogie on out of here. I appreciate you guys very, very much. What a fun 2-hour stream. We were feature length today. I appreciate you guys. Much love.